Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the United Stand. Six, possibly seven players up for sale as of this morning. Lots coming out from Fabrizio Romano. Of course, lots of just general transfer news surrounding Manchester United going on, as I said, yesterday's show. As soon as everything kind of wraps up with Manchester United, everything just floods in. We're linked with everyone. Everyone seems to be up for sale, and that is what we're going to get into today. But welcome in. Good morning, everyone. Nice and early this morning, but as you can see by the title and thumbnail, Sancho and Maguire seemingly transfer listed, along with Min Jae deal possibly being close. People saying zoom out, so we'll move you back a little bit. Apologies, is it a little bit too close to my ugly face? There you go. But yes, we will touch straight away on a Fabrizio Romano tweet where he's saying uh, a little bit about Manchester United's plans to let players leave, which is what Manchester United need to do ultimately, don't they? They need to let players go. If anything, I'd say that selling players is as important as bringing players in. Basically, we if we're wanting to sell, and again, I did say this on yesterday's show, if we are wanting to sign first team starting players, we need to be able to sell the first team starting players because otherwise the squad will just get too big and we'll end up like Chelsea. Robert McCormack with a super chat. I travelled to Ireland. Where was you, Charlie? Well, someone's got to look after the 10 a.m. show, haven't they, Robert? They have got to look after the 10 a.m. show. But yes, um, I'm looking a little rough today. No, feeling great. Feeling great. Able to move, very limber and agile this morning. Went on a run last night. Feeling good, my friend. Feeling very good. No roughness. Maybe just the laptop. But yes, Maguire expected to leave. Both sides possibly agreeing on that. Obviously, I guess less of an outgoing because Weghorst obviously wasn't officially our permanent player, but it's not looking like he is going to stay at Manchester United. Thank the Lord. Also, obviously, lots of news coming out on Faz's show yesterday that Dean Henderson moving to Nottingham Forest is advanced. Obviously, a lot came out as well about Donny van der Beek, and basically Baye and Telles are both being given the boot. A lot of people asking about Anthony as well. I mean, look, in all honesty, with the Anthony situation, guys, what do you expect me to say? I know nothing really about it. Of course, I've seen the articles and everything like that. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, we're just going to have to wait and see to what amounts to it. Ultimately, that is kind of what comes down to it at the end of the day. And, yeah, I mean, I'm not the best person. I'm not It looks like you just woke up. Wow, I'm not tired, but maybe I just look tired. Yeah, you horrible bunch. You horrible bunch. But yeah, no, we'll move away from the Anthony situation. I mean, look, that is ultimately what I say there. The fact that basically you don't really obviously there's certain allegations, but you ultimately whatever happens next, we just got to wait. We just got to wait, and that is ultimately what it comes down to. But it's your hair. Yeah, I mean to be fair, the hair does need a trim. It does really need a trim. But my barber away, and if you don't cheat on your barber. You don't cheat on your barber. So yes, Maguire expected to leave. Hallelujah. Ultimately, Harry Maguire is not a Manchester United player and never was. I mean, look, let's not actually be harsh about this. Maguire was a a, a a given. Look, Man City were interested in him, and ultimately Manchester United ended up paying the big bucks for him, which realistically we shouldn't have done. Obviously, I've got this bit of hair sticking up. What's going on? Ultimately, we shouldn't have done it. We shouldn't have done it. If Manchester United had paid 40 million for him, yes, you shouldn't we'd still be disappointed with the performances, etcetera, but ultimately the fact is we paid a ridiculous amount of money for him, which now gets looked upon like a ridiculous fee for a pretty poor player, and I'll be very, very, surprised if he is at Manchester United next season. As I say, Fabrizio was tweeting saying that it seems to be a common agreement between both parties, that being Manchester United, Ten Hag, and Harry Maguire, that it is best for his future for him to leave the club. Now, get your thoughts in, guys. Get your thoughts in. We can't run a poll because we're on the laptop again today, obviously. I'm pretty much the only one in the studio today. So pretty much just type in yes or no as to whether you want Harry Maguire at the club next season. It's what I like to see. And I know what most of it is going to be. I know what most of it's going to be, but I want to get your guys' thoughts again, get interactive with you lot. Yes, the fridge is leaving finally. Wow, look at that. Immediately, there's literally like 20 no's in the chat, and I'm sure there's going to be a majority of no's as well. Maguire out. No, no, no. Yeah, just as I thought it was going to be, in all honesty. But how much money can we get for Harry Maguire? That is the next topic or point of call, is how much money can we possibly get? You're looking at, I mean, we're definitely not going to recoup anywhere close to the 80 million that we spent on him, but is there a possibility that we recoup 40? Are there clubs out there in the Premier League, such as obviously the Spurs link that was yesterday? There was a little bit of Aston Villa talks as well, I saw this morning. If I can find it. Yeah, Aston Villa interested in Harry Maguire. They want to sign him this summer as part of their big spending spree. Now, I don't doubt that Harry Maguire can, can play in the Premier League for a, um, you know what, maybe even a few years ago, Harry Maguire would have worked out better at Manchester United. But, if he joined 2 or 3 years prior under different managers, he was playing well, and this is what people forget. He was playing well when he first joined. It's just a different style of play, and ultimately, Manchester United have evolved and are still evolving when it comes to um, play style, signings, Tidy Brown says, "I would prefer Toby Maguire." Well, yeah, we've already got one Spider-Man in the team. Just get another Spider-Man. But yeah, I think that ultimately Harry Maguire was decent, and there were other teams interested. We ultimately got him, and it just hasn't worked out. It really hasn't worked out, and I think that sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet, and that's what Manchester United haven't been doing for so long now. Is biting the bullet. Risik, welcome to the members club, my friend. Ray says Maguire for Ollie Watkins. Haha. A lot of people seem to have. I prefer Quagmire. A lot of people seem to have this fixation on Ollie Watkins. And again, this is where I think recency bias comes into it, because he did end the season very, very well, didn't he? Scoring goals for Villa. Obviously, they've skyrocketed up the table since Unai Emery came in. Obviously, I think it was his first game in charge was against us, and they ended up beating us in the league. We then obviously rectified that by beating them in the cup. But Ollie Watkins, again, I wouldn't take him at Manchester United. Again, I just feel like there's so many better options in the market at the minute, and we can do so much better than what Ollie Watkins can offer us. Just my opinion, just my opinion. But when um, when Manchester United signed Harry Maguire, none of us thought realistically that he was going to fail. I mean, look, that 9 times out of 10, that isn't obviously what you're thinking when Manchester United do sign players, but you want everyone to work out, of course, and Harry Maguire just hasn't. And I feel like he has now reached that point of no return almost. I feel like he has reached that point of no return. Ray says, "I rate Ollie Watkins." Sorry, I just missed that there. I rate Ollie Watkins, but would top six be too much? Again, it's a good chat. Luke says Maguire was never the same after Greece. I completely forget about that every time, that whole incident. It seems like a long, long time ago. But few comments coming in saying Maguire played well in the first season because we played deep and counter attack. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. Different styles suit different types of players. Harry Maguire, and this is why one thing I need to emphasize is players. Because Ricky will make a point of the fact that Lukaku and Darmian are in the Champions League final, right? And Matic was in the Europa League. Sorry, Europa. What was he in? Europa League final. That's the one. and saying that, these are the players that Manchester United have let go. Look what they've ended up doing, etc. I mean, look, there's countless players that have won trophies or got to finals with different managers. They work out, they don't work out at certain teams, and that is just the way like the cookie crumbles. At the end of the day, football evolves and changes, and certain players aren't suited by managers. You got to remember the Premier League is an incredible standard of football. Playing 10th in La Liga is probably the equivalent of playing like a championship team. Like let's be honest, like there isn't, and maybe that's a little bit harsh, but there isn't that same standard. And I do feel that Eric Ten Hag found out the hard way when it came to it. Look at his first opening two games. Obviously, Brighton, you lose to Brighton, what was it, 2-1 in the end, then you go to Brentford and get thumped 4-0. It's not good, is it? It really isn't good, and I feel like he did learn that he couldn't play the way he wants to with the team and players that he had at the time, Maguire being one of them. So, I feel like this season could be huge for clearing out the deadwood. It could be absolutely phenomenal, and I'm looking forward to it, in all honesty. Obviously, the other players that were mentioned there was obviously Weghorst. There was a once upon a time, guys, where I genuinely thought Weghorst was going to be a signing for Manchester United, not because I wanted him, but because I just felt like he was a manager's player, a workhorse, someone that could just work hard for the team and be comfortable being second, third, fourth choice attacker, number 10, whatever he wanted to do it. And one thing you can't really take away from Weghorst is the fact that he did try hard, but ultimately when it comes to Manchester United, that is not good enough, is it? Risic says Kim Min Jae, Declan Rice, Kudus, Hoyland, Turam as my players I would be looking at. Charlie, your thoughts? Yeah, Kim Min Jae's a no-brainer, in all honesty, buddy. Kim Min Jae, especially with that release clause. Without that release clause, I feel like he he would be double the price that the release clause is. Declan Rice again, is he just going to cost that little bit too much? Obviously, you've got a lot of interest as well from Bayern, Arsenal, probably Chelsea are in there as well. Kudus is a little bit of a not a rogue one, but again, where's his best position? Hoyland's a good shout, and Thuram, um, Lilian Thuram, Lilian Thuram isn't Lilian Thuram Marcus Thuram's dad? Lilian Thuram, is he? Yeah, Lilian Thuram's his dad. I'm guessing you mean Marcus Thuram, nonetheless. Anyway, but I mean, yeah, I get your point. Again, a free signing could work out pretty good as well. Abista says we can get out, but we need a number 8 box to box centre midfielder 100%. The Merciless HD says, what's your option? I guess you mean opinion. What's your opinion on the club sale? Any concerns it may not happen? And do you think Rashford should be captain? And all the transfer rumors, what do you think is a realistic option? Rashford, no, I don't agree. I don't think Rashford should be the captain. And with the sale, it's a waiting game, man. I'm so bored of going around in circles. I hate it. I hate just the fact of it's being longed out so much, and you can't plan for the future. That is ultimately what it comes down to. With transfers, etc. I love the transfer window, especially ever since joining the United stand. The transfer window is unbelievable, and this is going to be my first full transfer window in terms of consistent shows and reporting on it. I do love it. But yeah, we're talking about Weghorst, weren't we? Weghorst, I mean, look, eh, Weghorst is Weghorst. We should never have signed him in the first place. He did okay. What, a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 average performances over the time that he was at Manchester United, but ultimately we gotta let bygones be bygones, and he's got to go. Dean Henderson is an interesting one. Obviously, looking like it is very close for him agreeing, or Manchester United agreeing a deal, kind of in principle, with him moving to Forest. I feel like there was obviously a lot of discussion around the De Gea topic, wasn't there? Possibly Dean Henderson coming back and being that number one, if Ten Hag was to choose to do that, that is looking unlikely, which does mean that a new goalkeeper will 90% be brought in. I'd say whether it is a younger goalkeeper to be brought in, underneath De Gea. But how much are we thinking for Henderson, guys? Get your comments in. 30 million, 25 million. I think honestly, upwards of, if we get more than 20 million for him, I'll take that and run. Honestly, I will take that and run to the high hilltops. I think Dean Henderson, especially with he's had the majority of the well, I don't how long's he been out injured? Because he had that thigh injury, which he had surgery, but I think he's back for pre-season. I'm gonna say this deal will get done relatively soon, relatively quite quickly. I feel like, it's quite clear that Henderson doesn't wanna be a Manchester United player, and, you know, I feel that Forest, I mean, they brought in how many players was it last season? Around 20 odd? I remember making a list. I feel like if we manage to sell him for you guys are getting your chats in around 25, 30 million, get him gone. Get him gone. I don't think he's that good, in all honesty. I feel like Manchester United can do better as well, and the fact that the deal is almost done is absolutely unbelievable. But Van der Beek, I'm seeing a lot of chats about Van der Beek as well. Uh, the fact that, again, it comes from Fabrizio, he will explore his options in the market in the next weeks. He could leave Manchester United. He does love the club and Erik ten Hag, but wants to play regularly this season. I don't blame him, in all honesty. Again, it's just another player that hasn't worked out at Man United, has he? He really hasn't worked out, and it's such a shame because Van der Beek is a huge fan favorite, and he definitely would have been utilised more, this season than probably under any manager that we've had since he came in. I think that Ten Hag utilised him brilliantly at Ajax when they were there, but, how much do we get for Van der Beek? Genuinely, how much do we get for Van der Beek? 15? I don't know how much we bought him for, but can you 10, 15, 20 million max? I mean, look, ultimately, whatever it is, it needs to go straight in the transfer kitty, and we need to use it to buy not only replacements, but, a better squad depth positions because Manchester United need better players and better squad depth. But it is a shame to see that, Donny van de Beek is just another one of those players that just hasn't worked out. It's such a shame, it really is, because again, as I say, he's a fan favorite, and a lot of people say we can get 30. I really don't see us getting 30 million for Van der Beek, but then I didn't see us getting 30 million for Henderson, whether that's gonna happen or not. Ian Jones says, "One more chance for Donny, then sell in January if no good." I just don't what chance is he gonna get? What chance is Donny van de Beek gonna get? Because if this Mount transfer comes through, you've then got Mount, Eriksen, Bruno, Casemiro. Ultimately, we don't know what position his best position is in the Premier League. Again, it might be one of these things that it comes down to. He's just not suited to Premier League football. You might see him go back over to the Eredivisie to Ajax. You might see him move over to a La Liga or the Serie A or the Bundesliga, possibly. Maybe see him at Dortmund. I'm not too sure, but I think that it's just another one of those players that you've just got to get gone. You have just got to get gone. We have to be ruthless. We can't keep giving all these players chance after chance after chance after chance. You have to bite the bullet at some point, and hopefully Ten Hag and his staff and Manchester United as a club are learning from the, let's call them, experiences of buying these players that just aren't working out. And lucky for us, we can hopefully recoup a little bit of money on the both departures of um Harry Maguire and Donny van de Beek, and obviously Henderson will be pure profit, won't it? So I think the fact that Henderson leaves pure profit, the fact that I think Elanga will be I don't did Elanga get, like, brought in really young, or was he pure academy prospect? But either way, pure profit. If Scott McTominay goes, pure profit. It's what you want. This is what helps out with financial fair play. Nick James says, "Feel frustrated that we have to sell to buy when we should buy first, then sell like Brighton. Wonder if new owner brings in new recruitment team." Well, I'd imagine that a new owner will bring new kind of everything, in all honesty. There won't be a I don't know. I guess it depends. Maybe a lot of new changes will come in. Should it be Qatar in comparison to Jim Ratcliffe? I don't know. I suggest that I not suggest. I think that there will be a lot of new staff members just kind of everywhere and everything. But I mean, Nick, when it comes to your point of saying, we should sell to buy, I think that oh, sorry, you're frustrated that we have to sell to buy. We're actually in a position where we genuinely do, but not only for the sake of budget, genuinely for the sake of we're gonna have too many players otherwise. You have to sell your Maguires. You can't bring in another centre back if you don't get rid of one. Otherwise, we've already got Varane, Martinez, Maguire, Lindelof, and then obviously Shaw can play there. So that's 5 players for 2 positions, and then you can't bring in Min Jae and go, "Oh, well, we'll bring him in and then hope we'll sell Maguire." That can't really do that. You can't really do that, which is a shame, I guess. Is Brighton selling Matoma if Sancho leaves? Is Matoma a replacement? Now, I know someone who will be very intrigued to bring Matoma to Manchester United, and that is Big Ricky. Loves Matoma. He's very direct, someone that gets into the byline, crosses the ball, scores goals, gets assists. Unbelievable talent. But yeah, financial fair play is a big topic of discussion. Also, Manchester United do need to be wary of it, I guess. I feel like there was reports that Manchester United can spend, I think it was towards 150, was it? Or was it 250? I think it was 150 million. And have no repercussions. But obviously, selling players will add to that. Selling homegrown players will add to that as well. Francis says Alanga can still do it. Trust me. Now we're talking about Alanga. Obviously, there was reports as well on Alanga. We could touch on them a little bit later, but we'll talk on Bailly and Telles as well. I mean, these guys are no brainers, right? They're not even at the club. They're loan players, again, I really liked Bai, in all honesty. I loved him. Absolutely loved Bai. I thought he was an absolute menace on the pitch, and maybe that was why I loved him because you never knew quite if he was gonna get sent off, gonna clean someone out. You don't know. You don't know what he was gonna do. But I think Mike's bad. Oh god, what's happened to the mic? Is the mic bad? Someone let me know. Is it genuinely bad? More often, but it's cut out at times. Sounds muffled. Oh, mic's bad. Well, cheers for the super chat. It shouldn't be. The mic should be fine. The mic should be fine. Mic's dodgy. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Yes, mic is bad. Don't turn your head. Okay. No, it's good. It's good. It's fine now. It's fine now. It's better now. Okay. Well, we'll carry on. We'll carry on. It's okay. It's okay. I plugged it back in here. Nothing wrong with the mic. Hopefully it's better. Um, hopefully it's better. You guys can let me know anyway. Apologies, apologies. Lost my trailer for Bailly and Telles. So Bailly and Telles are pretty much just givens that they're going to leave the club. I feel like Bailly was brought in under Mourinho, wasn't he? Telles was obviously brought in under Solskjaer. Telles, again, what type of fee are you gonna get? What type of fee are you gonna get for these 2 players? I think that 10,000,000 combined. 10,000,000 combined really is, I mean, these guys have got to go, haven't they? They're taking up wages. They're taking up resources. Like you can't keep paying these guys, and ultimately we can't send them on loan year after year. I think Telles is pretty set on leaving. I think Bailly is ultimately pretty set on leaving also. Eric Bailly, again, I said, didn't I? I really did like him. I really did like him. So he's just injury prone as well. I mean, we all remember, or we should remember the tackle from this season when he was obviously on loan. He literally drop kicked someone. Near enough, absolutely drop kicked someone in the chest and got injured from it, which sums him completely up. I think that if you manage to get upwards of 10 mil combined for these 2, take it, run, bite their hand off. That is what you've got to do. But the kind of, I mean, look, Harry Maguire is a huge, huge talking point, isn't he? In terms of a player that's set to leave Manchester United, but arguably a bigger one is Jadon Sancho. That is arguably what we're gonna talk about next. Charlie, chat. Sorry, chat. Stop saying Ahmad is better. Okay, sorry. I thought you were saying I said something. It's not not what I said. Jadon Sancho could be leaving Manchester United this summer. Thoughts and opinions. Get your comments in, chat. I want to see, should Jadon Sancho be a Manchester United player? I want you to say yes or no while I read out this quick super chat from Charlie. It's a shambles from top to bottom. All I want to know is who is buying our targets and how much we have to spend. And unfortunately, Charlie, we don't know that. We don't know that, unfortunately, because we don't know what the ownership situation is going to be. A lot. Mixed, I guess. Mixed. Yes. No. Yes. Sell Sancho. Yes. No. Sell Sancho. Yeah, it's mixed opinions, isn't it? Loan him to Dortmund until January. Sell him. Well, I mean, the report is that basically Dortmund are interested in re-signing Jadon Sancho from Manchester United this summer. You know, his time at Manchester United has been a mixed bag, really, hasn't it? He's shown unbelievable talent at times, but then also it's been pretty turbulent for him. We've brought in that we had the big saga, didn't we, with Sancho in one window, and then it kind of went into the next, and we managed to get him for a silly amount of money. But it is reported that, the German outlet Bild have reported that a return to Dortmund could be possible. And has been apparently the sporting director of Dortmund, Sebastian Kehl, has been in frequent contact with Sancho's advisors. Now, I'm not sure if Sancho would entertain it. I mean, he'd have to take a wage cut. I'm not sure if that's something that he would want to do. Bit of a difficult one. Nick James says Sancho is dependent on if we buy a striker / Anthony. I mean, look, we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't. I mean, I love Sancho again. I feel like it would be such a shame. It would be such a shame, honestly, if we do sell him. There is a player there somewhere. Charlie Max again with another super chat says, with all these potential outgoings, Sancho and McTominay will dodge a bullet and still be warming our bench this time next year. This is Charlie. This is why we've got to be ruthless, lad. This is why we've got to be ruthless. We have to get rid of the players. Ultimately, whatever Ten Hag wants, I nearly said Sir Ten Hag, whatever Ten Hag wants, we need to go with it. But the report does detail that they're ready to accept, Man United are ready to accept a loss, which is 9 times out of 10 what we do, and would be ready to sell for around 55 million. But Dortmund are only interested in a loan at the minute. What do we think? What do we think on a possible loan? What do we think? Domo says Haaland made Sancho look like a baller at Dortmund. I mean, no, I don't think so. Sancho made Sancho look like a baller. You know, he was putting up ridiculous numbers, 15 plus goals, 15 plus assists. This guy was very, very good. But again, it comes down to Manchester United buying what seems to be the obvious player. You look back Sancho, you look back Di Maria. Di Maria was an obvious buy. He came off the back of a man of the match performance in the Champions League final. If there's an option to go and get him, no brainer, go and do it. So Sancho was someone we expressed interest in very early on, and the saga continued, but we managed to get him. But again, it was an obvious one that again hasn't seemingly worked out, and we are going to have to take a loss on him if we are going to sell him. Although I did just say we need to stop giving players chances, that was to do with Donny van de Beek, who for me hasn't really shown any glimpses of brilliance or worth kind of sticking around, and we didn't invest as much money into, and someone that we can seemingly get out quicker than we can Sancho. I think with Sancho, you have to give him another chance. I feel like he has shown really, really good performances. I feel like he just needs to add that little bit more consistency to his game. The problem with Sancho is we've got Nacho coming through and showing this was his proper breakout season this season. That's the only thing, isn't it? That you've got a young kid. You know, Sancho's young, but you've got an even younger kid in Garnacho's come through the youth. Yes, he was brought into the youth, but again, still come through the youth and is scoring goals and having a much bigger impact on the eye, isn't he? I mean, Sancho's numbers in terms of like take on percentage and forward runs, etc., is very good, but you know, you never quite know what's going to be round the corner in terms of player sales, etc. And I think that Sancho staying at Manchester United is more likely for me than having him sold. But again, he wasn't brought in as Eric Ten Hag's player. You know, the same for Maguire. If he doesn't want these players, you know, and the board might turn around and go, "Oh, we can't get rid of him. We invested this amount of money, blah blah blah," and Ten Hag will go, "Well, I wasn't the manager at the time, you know, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You know, wasn't the manager at the time, not my player. We need to invest in the type of talents that I want to bring in. You've got to be ruthless. That is literally it. And a lot of people in the chat saying loan is pointless. Some people are saying that a possible loan might be the best thing for him. I mean, look, he had what 3 months off, I think 3 months off football around, was it Christmas? Was it around Christmas time? Around late last year, was it? And he came back and he's been given time. Sancho has to improve physically. I mean, look, I just feel that there is something missing. I feel like he has all the attributes in the game to progress in a Manchester United shirt. You know, there was talks of when he first joined about him possibly getting the number 7 shirt. Obviously, that went to Ronaldo. I mean, he's been given he wanted 25, right? 2 + 5 = 7. That is why he wanted the number 25. So, I mean, there's no chance he gets the number 7 shirt now. But Carl says use him for swaps with someone. A lot of people are giving up on Jadon Sancho. I'm not willing to do that quite yet. I just think that he needs to be given that little bit extra time, and Ten Hag will need to work wonders in terms of getting the best out of him. Adrian says we just need to stop going to Dortmund for these types of players. Sancho, Mkhitaryan and Kagawa were ballers at Dortmund and didn't pan out. I mean, we wouldn't have been complaining if we went to Dortmund and got Haaland, though, would we? Because, you know, Haaland's a joke. Damo says we need a fire sale. Deadwood is killing this club. Yeah, the Deadwood's not looking good, is it? That's why we desperately need to sell, and that's why for me it doesn't just come down to selling to buy. It is selling the Deadwood that needs to be sold anyway, and then we also need to sell to buy as well. Opinion on Florian Wirtz. Yeah, who's he play for? Bayern Leverkusen, isn't it? Young player, probably. He just screams like a Chelsea player. If they let Havertz go, I just don't see Manchester United going and getting him. But a young kid, isn't he? Who's been pretty good. Charlie, you say there is a player there in Sancho. Ask Guardiola why he got rid of him. I mean, I'd love to sit down with Guardiola and ask him that question, mate, in all honesty. I would absolutely love it. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But I think that's unfair to say, you know, ask Guardiola why he got rid of him, because he got rid of him at 17 or 16 or however young he was. He's not, you know, he's a very, very good manager, but he's not a fortune teller. He can't see into the future as well, is it? You know, that doesn't happen. So I think that he can. Oh, I need to save that chat because I'll read that one out. I feel that he was having a ridiculous time at Dortmund, and it wasn't just Manchester United who were interested in him ultimately. So, you know, there's a reason. Mark says this bloke is delusional. Another chance. Sancho is shite. Did he see Sancho on Saturday? Useless. Get rid. This channel has gone to the slaughter so fast. This presenter has to go. Cheers, Mark. Appreciate you watching the show. Love the positive comments also on a Wednesday. Someone has pissed in his cornflakes, but I think that Jadon Sancho is a player. I think he's got a player in him. And again, I feel like personally, I'm expressing my opinion. I'm not putting my opinion on you guys. That is what I'm here to do. Express my opinion and read out the news. I feel that my opinion is that Jadon Sancho is a very good footballer, and I feel like, again, it could be one of those situations where just give him, pre-season again. You got to remember, last pre-season when Ten Hag came in, they were the Sancho, Martial, and Rashford were the front three doing numbers in pre-season. And obviously, pre-season is different, completely different to the season. We've seen that, but I feel that he's a proper old school street baller, a Delta Rap type player. And I feel like that spark just needs to be lit in him. But we can move on. Obviously, they were the kind of 6-7 players. Obviously, there is one more. There is one more that we can talk about. Another outgoing, and that is Anthony Elanga. A lot of you guys, probably, I'm going to say, agree with letting Elanga go. Maybe some of you guys would prefer to see him go on a loan. I'm not too sure. Just get a comment in. Type in loan or sell, and then I'll know what you want to do with Elanga. But the report does come from Pletigol, and it is Elanga can leave Man United this summer. United are expecting around 50 to 20 million for him. Leipzig had held talks, but nothing is advanced. Numerous other clubs are interested. Now, for me, I feel like Anthony Elanga does need to leave Manchester United. I wouldn't be against a loan should that suffice, should that come about. I feel that you're just paying his wages. Actually, I'm against it. I'm against it now. Sell him. Get him gone. I was saying about being ruthless. You got to be ruthless. If we can get the 15 million or whatever the report was, 15, 20 million, take it and run. Yes, he's had a few good games. He scored that goal against Atletico Madrid, didn't he? But there's just so many players ahead of him. As bad as everyone's saying Sancho is, I'm sorry, but you don't put Elanga ahead of Sancho. And then ahead of Elanga, you've still got Rashford, Anthony, you've got Garnacho. What about Ahmad when he comes back? He's ahead of Elanga. This is what we've got to think. Palistri's ahead of Elanga. Elanga really has, and what hasn't helped is I think he was brought into the team too early. Under obviously Ranić. Ranić seemed to love Elanga, was playing him every single blooming game. He loved him. Maybe he saw something in him that no one else is seeing in training, etc. But for me, it hasn't worked out. And if we are going to loan him, it has to be the right loan. It has to be a Premier League loan. Send him to an Everton. Send him to a Wolves, a Brentford. I don't know, someone like that. Has to be the right loan. And we need to see a huge improvement. He needs to get game time, and he needs to show that he can be part of Erik Ten Hag's plans moving forward. But for me, straight away, if I had to pick one or two at a sell and loan, it's a sell. I just think it's a no-brainer. Especially with the 15, 20 million that's being reported. Again, I don't know what wages he's on. I can't imagine it's much, since he's probably still on not a youth contract. He'll be on a professional contract, obviously, but he won't be on a ridiculous amount of wage. But again, it comes down to ruthlessness and the fact that Manchester United need to move forward. And again, it could possibly help out with bringing in further players and financial fair play. I feel like that is kind of what it comes down to. But a little incoming is possibly, and again, we've left it late, I know, but you saved the best till last, is that Min Jae, the deal could be close, people. Oh my God, let's go. Min Jae is an unbelievable player. And a lot of people have got their super chats in. Sammy McQuillan, I think that's how you say your name. Welcome to the Members Club, my friend. Hold on one second. Let me just get rid of, there we go. Min Jae is having, or reportedly having, a meeting next week with Manchester United. Now, you can take this with a pinch of salt. You never quite know. That's coming from Alfredo Perdula, I think is how you say his name. I mean, if Manchester United managed to somehow pull this off, unbelievable. There's going to be a lot of interest. Let's not forget. Could all be spin, like UK Paul says. Could all be spin. You never know. But I mean, the chosen one says Kim will be our Vidic signing. The partnership. Does Min Jae start over Varane? He definitely doesn't start over Martinez. There's no question about that. Does he start over Varane? You never know. You never know. I think that, I mean, it's a no-brainer that it'll be a good signing, especially with this clause that's in place. I think it's for a 2-week period in July time, which is around 40-ish million. There's going to be a hell of a lot of teams interested. I feel like there's going to be a hell of a lot of teams that will activate that release clause. And ultimately what it will come down to is the player's preference. And a lot of reports, of course, are going to be suggesting that Min Jae will entertain the thought of going to Manchester United. And I feel like ultimately Manchester United is quite an attractive club to go to at this point in time. I really do think that the joining Manchester United is a good thing. Like, looking at it moving forward, I feel like we're in a good spot. We've come off the back of statistically our worst season ever, and we're now won a cup, Champions League football, which is huge for bringing in players. Is that Champions League attraction? And we're Ten Hag, what he has done off the pitch in terms of handling certain situations, the Ronaldo situation. I feel like it stands us in good stead in terms of players wanting to move to Manchester United. I really do think so. I really do think so. Charlie, if you're talking about ruthless, only Casemiro, Licha, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Varane, and Rashford would survive. I mean, no, that's. I feel like that's just unrealistic, though. In all honesty, talk about ruthless, and then there's being realistic. We can't get rid of everybody. You've got to pick. The ones that genuinely you don't see a future at Manchester United at all, one bit, in terms of plans. I mean, if you're not including obviously Anthony in there. Anthony was brought in. Obviously, there's a situation going on at the minute. We're kind of waiting to hear how the situation unfolds. But we've seen a lot of players improve under Erik ten Hag, and I feel like Manchester United and Erik ten Hag will get the best out of players if they do move, and if we pick wisely. 100%, we need to pick wisely. Rashford scores 30 goals, still getting hate. I mean, look, as well, there's tweets circulating this morning, or was it last night, about Rashford less than a week off of the losing the FA Cup final, and he's on a book signing, getting hate, and it really does wind me up. Like, I mean, the kid, literally, because he is what, 25, whatever. I'm still a kid. I'm 26. I feel like he can't do anything right. He literally can't do anything right. And again, it comes down to recency bias, and football being, a season is a long old time, and people can forget about all the great you did off the back of, 1 or 2 bad performances, which is a shame. But I'm sure Rashford will kick on next season as well. I really, really am. But we're coming to the close of the show. Min Jae moving to Manchester United could be. Who do we reckon the first signing is going to be, guys? Get your comments in. Who do we reckon Manchester United's first signing is going to be? Actually, put signing and then departure. So who you think Manchester United's first signing is going to be, and who do we think Manchester United's first player sale is going to be? I reckon the first player we're going to buy is Mount, and the first player we're going to sell is... trying to think. Henderson. There we go. Let's go with Henderson. I can't do a poll, unfortunately. We can't do a poll. We're on a tight little budget. Risick says defender, goalkeepers, midfield, striker sold equals 200 million sales. Risick again says Evan and Ndika is a steal. He's free and a defender. I actually made a TikTok video and an Instagram reel that you can go and check out, that came out, I think it was last week or the week before, about the possibility of Manchester United delving into the free transfer market. There are a lot of players available. There are a lot of entertaining players available who possibly we could go out and get. You know, you look Marcus Thuram, and Dika that we've had the comment there of. There's many others, many others. And should we be going? Should we be going and and entertaining that? Catherine says you're too old for TikTok. Too old? I'm 26. I'll have you know. I'm 26. That is not too old. Rizzy says, Charlie, you're doing a great job. I'm always enjoying your show. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. AK Glazonomics. Cheers for the super chat, my friend. What was your comments anyway? What was your oh, I've put it on the screen somehow. Let's hide that one. What was your comments? What was your comments? Let's just enjoying some of these. Just enjoying some of these. Mount sucks. Henderson first signing Mount, first sale Tellez. Sell Henderson by Hoyland. Min Jae, Henderson, Hoyland, and Bailly. Yeah, all sorts of different comments. All sorts of different comments. Catherine says she's joking. Yeah, I'm all here for the banter. I love it. I love it. But guys, we're going to come to the end of the show, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do really enjoy the morning show. I really do. Really thoroughly do. And I'm back again tomorrow at 10 a.m., I believe. I think Faz is on the 8 o'clock tonight as well. You guys, I heard, enjoyed that show thoroughly, so you can tune in for the 8 p.m. show again with him. Liam, okay, he's put in Charlie. Who do you want us to sign? I think I want us to sign Min Jae. I want us to sign Diogo Costa. I want us to sign Harry Kane. But these are all fairy tale dreamland. Whether it's going to happen or not, I do not know. Leave a like on the video, guys and girls. Subscribe if you aren't already. Don't forget to, obviously, as I say, subscribe because the transfer window is going to be nuts. It's going to be huge. We're going to be uploading 3-4 videos daily. It's big. It's huge. Love it. Speak to you all in a bit.